Last week the Prime Minister visited West Yorkshire Police, and as you will have seen from the news, there was a lot of controversy over that visit, in particular accusations that the Prime Minister was politicising the police. So I want to take a short look at what lessons can be learned from that incident for PCCs and Chief Constables going forward. So the Prime Minister was in West Yorkshire to launch the announcement of the new 20,000 police officers. But what happened instead was that it turned into a very different kind of speech, and one which caused all sorts of confusion. This led to both the PCC and the Chief Constable having to respond quite quickly to the media interest in this story, with the PCC saying, "A visit from the Home Secretary, which originally started out as a discussion about the plans for police recruitment, clearly turned into a rant about Brexit, about the opposition, and appeared to be blatant electioneering, which was completely unacceptable as a last-minute hijacking of the visit by Boris Johnson." The Chief Constable said, "I repeat that I'm pleased that we were chosen as the focal point of the national recruitment campaign launch, but the good news of extra officers was overshadowed by the media coverage of other events. It was the understanding of West Yorkshire Police that any involvement of our officers was solely about police officer recruitment. We had no prior knowledge that the speech would be broadened to other issues until it was delivered." However, that wasn't the end of the story. Immediately following the speech, Yvette Cooper, the chair of the Home Affairs Select Committee, wrote to Mark Sedwill, the Cabinet Secretary, about this speech. Her letter, which is available on the committee's website, said, "As you'll be aware, there is clear guidance prohibiting the involvement of police in politics. Ministers and MPs routinely meet police officers in their normal work, but police guidance is clear on the need for impartiality and the avoidance of any interaction that could be used to show support for or opposition to a candidate, a political party or a position. Paragraph 1 of Schedule 1 of the Police Regulations 2003 provides that a member of a police force shall at all times abstain from any activity which is likely to interfere with the impartial discharge of their duties, or which is likely to give rise to the impression among members of the public that it may so interfere, and in particular, a member of a police force shall not take active part in politics." The letter also highlighted the guidance that was put out by ACPO and the College of Policing in 2015 about the role of police officers in the pre-election period. So what can we learn from this incident? It seems clear that there were last-minute changes to the Prime Minister's speech, including apparently turning two speeches into one. It's also clear that media coverage that day was dominated about Brexit. In those circumstances, the presentational aspects of the visit should have been front and centre in any planning for the visit. Hindsight, of course, is a wonderful thing, but here are some thoughts about how PCCs and Chief Constables can avoid similar circumstances in the future. And at a time of ever more polarised political debate, it's really important that everybody learns from this. So here are our 4 top tips of navigating the difficult terrain of political visits. Firstly, focus on your communications plan from the outset. If a high-profile speech or visit is going to take place on police premises, it's important that everyone has a clear communications plan in place that both the Chief Constable and the PCC are signed up to. Secondly, remember that things can change and probably will change, so everyone will need to remain agile during the day. Thirdly, make sure that there's a designated individual in place who's in charge of the communications plan, most likely someone from the Corporate Communications Department. That person should be on hand to liaise with whoever's giving the speech's representatives, be they number 10 or Home Office officials or private office. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, don't be pressurised by any political visit that's taking place on false premises. But remember that when the PM or indeed any other minister is on your patch, you're in charge. Make sure that both the Chief Constable and the PCC are happy with those last-minute changes. So that would be our advice to PCCs and to Chief Constables should similar issues happen in the coming weeks. But I think going forward we'd also see a role for the College of Policing in updating its authorised professional practice on relations with the media. We think that guidance should be updated to cover political speeches and visits as well. With the general election almost certainly on the horizon, now would be a good time to update the 2015 guidance on contact with candidates during the pre-election and election periods. In the coming weeks and months, political scrutiny and controversy is only going to increase. At the same time, forces are recruiting new officers, and there'll be continued media interest in the reforms to the criminal justice system. So now's a good time for PCCs and for Chief Constables and Forces to learn from the experience of West Yorkshire. A political visit coming up, put in place some simple measures that will help you avoid challenges like those experienced last week. And this will help you then ensure that the good work that you want to showcase doesn't become overshadowed by political controversy. So those are our thoughts on what happened last week and some steps to help Chief Constables and PCCs in going forward. As always, if you would like to sign up for our newsletter, then please contact me, Mark Cooper, on www.graymalkinconsulting.com through our contacts page, and I'll make sure you're added to the list. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.